Thank you for coming back to Law and Crime. I'm Linda Kenny Bodden. Well, to start off the hour, I want to switch gears from our regular trial coverage to discuss another Murdaugh making headlines. Just a few weeks ago, after disgraced former attorney Alec Murdaugh was sentenced to life in prison for the death and the murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul, his other son Buster is in the spotlight. Back in 2021, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, or SLED as they're called, announced that they were reopening the investigation into 19-year-old Stephen Smith's death after new information was found during the investigation of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh's deaths. Well, surviving son Buster is rumored to be involved in the 2015 death that was dubbed a hit and run at the time. Now, Smith's family is having his body exhumed for a private autopsy, leading Buster to respond to the allegations against him. Buster denies any involvement, but said his heart goes out to the Smith family. This morning, there was a press conference, so I want to watch a snippet of that conference of where the Smith family attorney, Eric Bland, discusses the logistics of their investigation. With this, so let's go to that right now.
An exhumation can cost anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000. You saw in the murder trial that expert witnesses can charge up to $600, $700 an hour. They're some of the world-renowned people, and we want to get the best of the best. We're going to find out who's the best at this. And if they're out of state, they're going to charge for their travel time, and they charge a daily rate. And sometimes that daily rate can be anywhere between $5,000 and $7,500. So we can assure everyone the money is not going to Bland Richter. We're not charging legal fees to petition the court and oversee this process. That is what we are contributing. We would have done this sooner. We were willing to donate our time, but we didn't have the money. And these costs are expensive. You saw it in the murder trial, and that's why that was so good, because the public got to see expert witnesses do consume a lot of the trial budget. And in this case, not only are we going to need the forensic pathologist, but we're going to need investigators and people who can specialize in accident reconstruction. You know, Ronnie and I have trucking cases all the time, and an accident reconstructionist can cost anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. So let's not have the dollars stop coming. There'll be full transparency on this money, I can assure you. Any questions that you want where it will go, we will show you where the money will go.
I almost got ahead of myself before that, because I'm so excited to introduce Angenette Levy. She's with us now. She is the one, the only, Law&Crime's one and only, I would ask or tell people. Angenette, thanks for coming on. What do you have to tell us about this new development?
Well, it's a pretty big development, Linda. Sandy Smith is Stephen Smith's mother, and she has been on a mission for the past nearly 8 years, hoping to find out what happened to her son back on July 8th of 2015. His body was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road in Hampton County, South Carolina. It was deemed a hit and run by the pathologist who performed the autopsy at the time. But she and some troopers with the South Carolina Highway Patrol were never convinced that his death was a hit and run. They felt like something else happened, and that his body, that Stephen's body, was placed in the middle of that road because there was no debris left from a hit and run. So Sandy Smith has been represented by a number of attorneys over the years. And just in the last week or so, it appears that she has retained Eric Bland and Ronnie Richter. And they represented the family of Gloria Satterfield, along with some financial crimes victims of Alec Murdaugh's. And she's obviously turned to them because they're able to get some attention in the press, obviously, and there's been great interest in this case. But she also set up a GoFundMe page in the last week or so, asking to raise $15,000 for an independent autopsy and an exhumation of Stephen's body. It's not that easy. You have to get a court order in order to exhume a body. You have to show cause as to why this is necessary. But she had told me a couple of weeks ago when I spoke to her on the phone about this, that she didn't trust the first autopsy. And SLED, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, which has opened an investigation into Stephen's death, and that investigation is ongoing. SLED said progress is being made. She said it was her understanding if SLED were to ask to exhume the body, then the Medical University of South Carolina, which performed the first autopsy, would have to be involved in this. And she didn't trust that autopsy. So she wants an independent evaluation. She sought to raise $15,000. She's now raised more than $60,000 because of the attention that this GoFundMe page has received. So she said all of the money from that GoFundMe page, from that account, will be used to hire experts, to hire investigators. They want to start from square one and find out once and for all what happened to Stephen. Because even if it is a hit and run, they still don't know who hit him and ran and didn't stop to provide aid to him. So she wants to know once and for all what happened to her son.
Angenette, do we know when this will take place?
We don't know, Linda, and there's still no guarantee that an exhumation will occur. They have to get a court order for this, and Eric Bland said they will be filing the paperwork to get this exhumation, to get the ball rolling, to hopefully get a court order for it, because you literally have to go dig up a grave and pull the casket out of the ground and have this transported to whatever facility is going to perform this work. And so they have to file the paperwork for that, request a hearing, show cause for it, and then get the ball rolling in that direction. And they hope to do that within the next 30 days or so. Also, they're still looking for a pathologist to perform this exhumation and to perform the autopsy, because you have to have somebody who's dealt with this type of thing before. You can't just have a pathologist, maybe a typical pathologist, I guess. I guess they have to have some experience with exhumations. So no timeline on that just yet.
All right. Angenette, I know that you're on top of this story as usual, and you will keep us informed when that's going to happen in this very interesting case, because I think we all saw the issues surrounding the Stephen Smith death, left in the middle of the road without any injuries to his lower body, as we understand it. Angenette, thank you so much. I know you have to run.